Hi, I'm Daniel Weber. I've just been doing some research on hypertension, and well, the statistics show in Australia that about 3.7 million Australians have hypertension. 32% of men, 27% of women have hypertension, and the untreated statistics are even worse. Perhaps up to 35% of the population in Australia actually has hypertension. These are serious numbers. Untreated hypertension gives rise to congestive heart failure and a whole raft of other problems, including kidney failure. So when we're looking at issues of hypertension, that is long-term high blood pressure, we're really looking at some very serious implications. So some of my research shows that obesity, lifestyle, lack of exercise are all of the factors associated with that. High blood pressure causes 1/3 of the burden of healthcare in Australia, second only to smoking and obesity. 35%, as I said, of those untreated with hypertension go on to have severe cardiovascular diseases, and this is important. Now, there are some very simple things that one can do about hypertension. Really, it is a matter of exercise, losing weight, not smoking, low-fat diets, and all the rest of those problems that are associated with our modern lifestyle. Now, one of the things that I think is important is that people are treated for the hypertension prior to these conditions, because it's going to take some time for us to actually deal with being overweight and high-fat diets, cholesterol, and so forth. So one of the things we look at is some of the medications. Pharmaceutical medications use ACE inhibitors, and we're going to talk in a minute about the research. We found some actual natural products that are ACE inhibitors, which are quite amazing. So what we want to look at tonight is the research that we're associating with hypertension and the conditions. Now, 120/80 is considered normal. I think, and I probably agree, you would agree with me, that actually that's even a little bit high. I think 110/70 is probably a preferable if you really are looking at it. But certainly many people are walking around with 85/130, and this begins of serious diseases. So let's look at some research here. I've created a formulation called past tense, which are based on natural compounds found in both Western and Chinese herbalism. It's surprising when you start to do some interesting research. What you find is, well, in this particular journal called Tetrahedron Letters, the extract of lithium bark, DGP in Chinese medicine, has been found to be an ACE inhibitor. Now, as you know, ACE inhibitors are one of the primary ways in which Western pharmaceutical medicine actually treats hypertension. So in this case, what we've actually found is a natural extract. It's a methanol extract, and it uses some of the octopeptides that are found in lithium, or DGP. It really is an important compound, and you can see here when we look at some of the research that the ACE inhibitors are really quite critical in being able to block the contraction of the smooth muscle in the arteries. And this antihypertensive mechanism of angiotensin and that is found in ACE inhibitors is really a critical part of our formulation. I think this is unique. I don't know that anybody in the world actually has a product like that. And I'll tell you, there aren't many people actually looking at tetrahedron letters as a research source. So I think that's an important thing. Let's look at the other component in here. It's also interesting to note that DGP, or lithium bark, is also useful for congestive heart failure and many other kinds of the prevention of cardiovascular diseases. As I said earlier, one of the factors associated with hypertension is the likelihood of some kind of cardiovascular incident later in life. So that's one of the components. The other component we have in there is crataegus, shenja, a Chinese herb, hawthorn extract, which is also used in European herbalism. Now, there's some really interesting research here. This is from a more well-known journal, Phytotherapy Research, 2002. And they're actually looking at the combination of hawthorn extract, and we're looking here at a 10% procyanidins, which are the part of the thing which actually helps with the hypertension. Now, the research shows that it works best when you combine it with other compounds. In this particular case, we're looking at magnesium. So the formulation that we're looking at combines DGUP, shanja, that is lithium bark, and hawthorn extract with magnesium. Now, it's important to recognize that this is a strong, powerful antihypertensive. And if a person is already using hypertensive medicine, you need to be very careful to monitor that because they can go into hypertensive states. Some of the other side effects perhaps associated with this, in small amounts, 1 or 2%, may be things like nausea, dizziness, and so forth, lightheadedness. And this just indicates, of course, that the fact is that a person is experiencing a hypotensive state. So it is important to recognize the efficacy of this product and how it will dramatically reduce hypertension. Check with your patients. As I said, up to 35% of the Australian population is a hidden hypertensive. That is, they don't know they have it. It's a silent killer because there are no symptoms. And yet, stroke, congestive heart failure, and renal failure are all attributable to hypertension. So please, do a check regularly. And if your patient has hypertension, even if they're 125/85, use past tense. Thank you.